was still outstanding. We exchanged lists. We went over them item by item. These are the things we've agreed to, correct? Yes, correct. These are the things we haven't agreed to, correct? Yes, correct. There is no taking away from the fact that this was not accidental, because it was signed and reviewed each and every day by the parties. That's number one. Number two, any notion that this was a clerical error is an insult to the workers that I represent. This was signed by your managers. This was signed by the person you hired to be the chief negotiator, who represented each and every day that he was there, that he had your authority to come to an agreement. It was signed by the deputy manager. It was signed by the director of employee relations. And I tell you what, since I've been doing this for a long time, I read what I sign in order to avoid any mistakes. And this was not a mistake that was made in the flurry of the last night. I've been in other negotiations where on the very last night people make mistakes. But I will tell you, and I mean this with all authenticity, your attorney and your management team reviewed each and every document and came back with punctual errors. They came back with minor word changes. At no time did they come back in 90 days and say, we signed this in error. Now, I've reflected on our negotiations, because they were the most challenging that I've ever faced. And that shouldn't be the case. And it shouldn't be the case going forward. And I tell you, I had some regret while I was signing some of those proposals, because in my heart, I didn't think they were good for the workers. But the teams agreed in order to come to an agreement and to move the service forward for the working men and women of the Bay Area. No amount of PR spin, no amount of fantasy math can get away from the simple truth that we came to an agreement. It's not like we ratified an agreement that didn't include the pension pickup and sent it back to you and said, okay, that would be fine. We agree to everything except that. It isn't possible. You have to take it in its totality. Now, we've told you that we will sit down and go over the interpretation of what this language means. But the very fact that you're taking us on over FMLA is in and of itself incredible. People don't wish for their loved ones to become ill. People don't wish to have to stay home and take care of a parent or a child. And those who do should have our hearts and our thoughts and our commitment to be with them, not enter into another dispute. Now, I'm asking you to authorize the agreement. And you have the union's commitment that we will sit down. But you can't piecemeal it. You have to vote it up in its entirety. That's what you pledged to us. That's what the general manager said when she had a press conference after we ratified the agreement and congratulated the parties in coming to an agreement. Please honor your commitment, because all of us depend on your word every day. Thank you.
Yes.